Hello, everyone. Welcome to Maximize Your Monday. It is your vision coach, LaToya Early. So excited to be before you on this fantastic Monday. I am your vision coach here to bring clarity, confidence, and expansion to the vision that God has given to you through coaching. I am also the founder of Chase Great University. We are a niche coaching certification company for Christian coaches. We are the exact space you need to be in if you are looking to align your life's purpose with your coaching message so that you can generate profit. So, welcome to Maximize Your Monday. I hope that you guys are ready. I hope that you guys are ready to join me on this fantastic Monday. Let's talk about your prices. Let's talk about your worth. Let's talk about why. I want to share with you 5 reasons why charging your worth is extremely dangerous as a Christian coach. So make sure you join us. Make sure you come on in. Listen, if this is your first time joining us here for Maximize Your Monday, I'm excited to have you here. I am now streaming for today only. This is for my special viewers. We're streaming live on the Chase Great University Facebook page. Most times we only stream inside of the Christian Women Called to Coach community, but I wanted to go ahead and stream live in other areas so that we can support you guys and give you guys some good content on today. So, good morning. Good morning. Listen, if you know someone who could benefit from today's training, do me a favor. Make sure you tag them inside of the comments. Make sure you tag them inside of the comments. We're going to talk about 5 reasons. These are going to be very important reasons why it is extremely dangerous for you as a Christian coach to charge your worth. We're going to talk about that. I'm excited about this topic because so often, we hear people talk about charging your worth and how as a coach you want to make sure you're charging your worth, right? How many times have you heard that before? And so it sounds good, it sounds compelling. It sounds like something you should do. It sounds like something that you should be, honored to do. It sounds like something you should want to stand firm in. But I want to share with you the dangers of doing that. So do me a favor, for those of you who are coming in, go ahead and say hello in the comments. Let me know that you are here. Let me know that you are joining us live as we share 5 reasons why charging your worth as a Christian coach is extremely dangerous. As a kingdom coach, why is this extremely dangerous? And why is it that I want to share this with you on today? So make sure you come on in. Let me know that you're here. If you're catching this live, go ahead and hashtag live. If you're catching this by replay, if you're catching this on replay, make sure you hashtag replay. So we're going to talk about these 5 reasons, right? And so reason number 1, make sure you have pen and paper. If you do not have pen and paper, hey, Coach Letitia, if you do not have pen and paper, make sure you grab pen and paper, because these are going to be some reasons I want you to really think about. So often we hear people tell us as service-based providers, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, to make sure we value who we are and we charge our worth. Now, while it sounds good, right? While it sounds like something that we should want to really take hold of, I'm going to share with you why it's a dangerous mindset to have, why it's a dangerous place to be in when you are establishing your prices for your services. And this could be for coaches, this could be for service-based entrepreneurs, this could be for product-based entrepreneurs. It's for anyone who's out, who is struggling with properly pricing their coaching businesses or properly pricing their services, whether or not you're a content creator, you're a social media manager, you're a coach, whatever you are, a consultant. We're going to talk about the dangers of you charging your worth, right? Again, we're taught this often in the industry, to charge your worth and don't let anyone devalue the exchange of your time, and don't let anyone devalue the skill that you have in helping them solve a problem. And again, these are all great uh great encouraging, words of encouragement and ways to push us, but I want to look at it and I want to help you shift your perspective and look at it on the opposite end of the spectrum. Okay, so we're talking about those 5 reasons charging your worth is dangerous as a kingdom coach. Number 1, here is why you should not establish or use your worth per se to measure or compare your pricing. Number 1, it's an emotional connection, right? We talk about one of the scriptures that we always harp on when it comes to setting the prices for our services, that for the love of money is the root of all evil. Well, a lot of times people want to say that money is the root of all evil, and it's really for the love of money is the root of all evil, right? And so why is this dangerous? Because if you love yourself at the level that you should, the moment that you connect money to self, you're now interchanging that love of money, right? You're now because you love yourself. So if you love yourself, you're saying, listen, I want to make sure that I'm charging my worth. And so now that love for self can turn into the love of money, because we're measuring our value and our worth of who we are in Christ and who we are as individuals with money. And so the number 1 reason why it's extremely dangerous to charge your worth is because you're now creating an emotional connection between who you are and the profit or the finances, that your revenue that you're able to generate in your business. And so now you go through this cycle of thinking, am I not worth this amount? So one of the things that we teach here at Chase Great University is pricing, and we teach you about the 4-figure offer, right? For those of you who are familiar with our price point strategy, we teach the 4-figure offer. And how do you design the 4-figure offer? What is included in that 4-figure offer? And so one of the things that we don't want you to do as a coach is compare your value and your worth to the amount of money you're exchanging for your service. Why? Because when it comes to placing a price point on your coaching services, there's a certain level of confidence that has to stand behind that price point. And so if you're not confident enough in your ability to exchange your coaching services for a 4-figure offer, then you'll start to think that you're not worthy enough of that financial exchange. And that is not true. Right? Let me know in the comments if this is something that you've struggled with, where you've heard to charge your worth, but then when it was time for you to design that price point, you struggled with providing a premium price point. You struggled with providing a 4-figure price point. Maybe you even struggle with providing a multiple $100 price point because you felt like you weren't qualified or you felt like you weren't worthy enough. Let me know in the comments if this is something that you've struggled with, right? Because I know I've been there, right? Okay, look, Coach Letitia, I've been there too, right? I've been in that position where I'm saying I want to charge my worth. I'm saying I want people to value my services. And so what I started to do is I created an emotional connection between the investment of my services and what I was able to provide in my services. And those two aren't equal. They aren't equal. When we talk about pricing, what we're doing is we are pricing our program based on the result or the output of the strategy that we have for the client. It has nothing to do with your worth and your value. Right? So when we talk about pricing and we're talking about positioning your services at a price point, we want to separate our value or our worth with how much we are exchanging the services for profit, because those two don't connect. Your services and your profit is based on the output and the result of the product or the service that you're providing, not who you are, not on your value, right? When you think about it, the reason why I want you to take a moment and think about this is because, let's be honest, Jesus paid the price for us back on Calvary. When he died on the cross, he already paid the price for you. He already established your value. He already established your worth. And so that's an immeasurable amount of, like, there's no amount of money that can measure to to that level of sacrifice. And so when you are in your business and you're building out your coaching businesses and you're building out your service-based business and you're positioning yourself for, the financial success that you desire in your in your businesses, I don't want you to look at what you offer as a form of value. Are you valuable? Absolutely. Are you worthy? Absolutely. But that is not a connection to the amount of money you make in your business, right? Reason number one was you want to avoid that emotional connection. Number two, when you compare your work to the amount of money, what happens when you don't receive that amount of money? Does that mean you're worthless? Right? Does that mean you are not as valuable as you assume to be? Does that mean that you are unable to offer your services because you're not as worthy as you think you should be to your audience? When you compare your worth to the amount of money you make, what happens when you don't receive it? So let's say, for instance, Coach Letitia, your coaching program, you're saying my coaching program is the price point is at $29.97, right? Can you really say that your worth is equivalent to $2,000 to $3,000? Absolutely not. And so, can you say that if no one enrolls into your $3,000 program, that you're worthless or you're not worthy? Right? No, we don't. And so, this is what happens when we start to build out our pricing out of the mindset or out of the space of our worth. And I hear it all the time. Again, you hear people say, charge your worth, charge your worth. Are you charging your worth? And I always cringe when I hear it, because now you're placing that person in a position where they want to now measure their gift and their ability to help transform to a dollar amount, and there is no equivalent monetary, there's no equal there. Like, that's not equivalent to one another, right? And so we're talking about these 5 reasons charging your worth is super dangerous as a kingdom coach, because we find ourselves in these positions when it's time to build out our price points. We find ourselves where we're trying to figure out, okay, I need to charge my worth. And I know that, I'm amazing, but you're worth far more than rubies and gold. So if you're worth far more than rubies and gold, then that means you charge some astronomical number for your coaching prices, for your coaching services, right? And so, again, we're talking about the danger of you pricing your worth. We're not here to price your worth. Jesus already paid the price for you. Your worth is invaluable. There's no type of monetary figure we can put on your worth. Now, what we can put a monetary value on are your results. What we can put a monetary value on is the output of what you have to provide or what you bring to the table as you're helping your client go from where they are to where they truly desire to be, right? I want you to think about scripture. One of my favorite scriptures over in Psalms 139, how it talks about how God formed us in our inward. Let me get it right. He formed our inner parts, right? He formed us in the womb of our mother. Like, he already, when the Bible talks about how we were created in his image, like, we were already created worthy. We are already created. We're, as believers of Christ, we've already inherited as queens and kings and sisters and brothers of Christ. So if you've already inherited, why are we trying to measure who we are based on the amount of money we make? Now, I do have a program coming up in March, where we're going to help you price your programs, right? And I want to help you itemize the things that should be included in your price point. And let me just tell you, worth is not one of them. Right? Being worthy is not one of the things that you put in your price point, right? I agree, Coach Letitia. It's done unintentionally. I think that when people sit down and you create your price points, you're so focused on how amazing you are and what you believe you deserve versus the output or the results of your product. Now, here's where I want you to take a moment and just kind of consider this for a second. What you deserve is subjective, right? It's subjective. Some people may believe they deserve this big. Some people may think they deserve this small. What you deserve is subjective. What we do as coaches, we're here to provide a solution or strategy to help you solve a problem. And so it's not really what you deserve, but it is more so what the client believe they deserve. And at what value or at what price point are they willing to invest to get what they deserve? Those two don't connect. That has nothing to do with the other, right? That those have nothing to do with the other. When you think about your pricing, you're saying, well, I deserve $3,000 for my coaching program, right? Well, it's not really about what you deserve because what you deserve is subjective. What it's about is the value that you're able to offer and the transformation that you provide your client. And what do they deserve? Do they believe they deserve this level of transformation that you're able to provide so that they can get the results that you're able to help them bring? And so if they believe they deserve that transformation, then they're willing to make the investment, right? So that mindset is not conducive or it's not equivalent to your worth. Because of course you're worthy. Of course you're worth the $3,000. But we're not here to measure your worth. Your worth is already established. We're here to help change the mindset of our client or of our consumer so that they can see their worth, so that they can enhance and increase their level of confidence, of esteem, so that they can then really go after what they desire, right? Coach Letitia said this is definitely a different perspective that you are given from a Christian perspective. Thank you. And for Christian coaches. And again, we get wrapped up into this because we're listening to, we're listening to the influencers and the gurus and the 7, 8, 9 figure coaches. We're listening to them and they're telling us, listen, when you establish your coaching program, you need to charge your worth. And it sounds good. Like I'm worth $3,000. You're worth more than $3,000. The amount of money that you're worth, no man can pay for. That's why Jesus already paid for it, right? We're talking about we want to put a price point on the transformation, on the result, on the output of the services that we provide. What are you providing? Now, we talk about the differences between deliverables and transformation. That's something that you want to consider, right? Where there's a difference between deliverables and transformation. So I'll use Chase Great for an example. The deliverables, you get, one-on-one coaching calls and you get worksheets and you get group calls and these are all the deliverables. These are all the check box items that you're getting. But the level of transformation that you gain from working with us at Chase Great, there is no monetary value that we can put on that. So when we talk about our price points, we're talking about the output. What are the results? What time are we helping our clients save? What money are we helping our clients save? What mindset are we helping them shift? How much time does it take for us to serve our clients so that they can get those results? How much preparation do we have to do to help our clients reach their results? These are the things that we're able to put a monetary value on because those change. That can increase or decrease. If you're paying $5,000 for a program, you're going to want a certain level of transformation. You're going to want a certain level of experience, right? But that has nothing to do with the worth of that person. Because here's the thing, if I don't get anyone to invest in my program at $5,000, does that mean I'm no longer valuable? Does that mean I'm not worthy? Right? Which brings me to reason number 3 of why charging your worth is so dangerous, because now you're considering worth versus worthless. If there's a worth, then there's a worthless. So if you're saying I'm worth this, but no one invests in that in you at that price point, it now very subtle shifts your thinking into believing that you're now worthless, or I need to adjust my pricing, right? We always hear coaches talk about it's time for you to increase your price point, increase your price point. Yes, that's great, right? And especially when we sit down and we sit down and determine what's all included. Have you itemized everything that you need to make sure that you are identifying or acknowledging, rather, excuse me, in that price point? Are you acknowledging those things? Are you acknowledging your taxes? Are you acknowledging your salary? Are you acknowledging your overhead? Like, are you itemizing what's all included in that price point? Right? This is how we determine the price for your program. Now, when we talk about increasing or decreasing, because I've been told this too, you never go down. And I think I've even shared this tip as well. Now, you don't decrease your pricing because no one buys. That's not why you decrease your price. That's not why you take your price down, because no one is buying, right? There is a huge difference when you are decreasing your price based off of obedience, maybe the season that you're in. That's between you and God. But you don't decrease your price because no one is investing. We need to now just shift your messaging and shift your language. But even when we're increasing our price point, we don't want to just increase our price point because someone told us to. We have to, number one, believe in the results and the transformation that we're able to help our clients gain. Number two, we want to make sure that we are providing a level of experience and a level of results. Like, there's so many different things that we want to make sure we're identifying, but none of those things, any of those things that we're checking off, it has nothing to do with your worth. Because what you don't want to do is struggle with separating your worth from your work, right? You want to make sure that you are not that you are able to separate your worth from your work. Your worth is not connected to your work. And when you charge make your services according to your worth, you're now connecting it to your work, and it overwhelms you. Because now if you're at a $5,000 price point, a $10,000 price point, a $30,000 price point, you now think that that $30,000 is connected to your worth. And then if no one invests at that price point, then it sends you into a space or a mindset of feeling worthless, or you feel like you have to overwhelm your work to match that price point, right? How many of you overwhelm your coaching programs trying to measure up to the price point? You're saying, okay, I want my program to be $5,000, and so you find yourself overworking yourself trying to do what? Measure up to that work. So you're answering calls outside of work hours. You jumping through every hoop. You're, whatever they need, you're making the adjustments. You're crossing your own boundaries. You're not even sticking to your boundaries. You haven't even established boundaries. Why? Because I've connected my worth to my work and I'm trying to measure up. But your worth is not connected to your work. You were fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God. Your worth was established way back when. Now, your work is what is connected to the output, it's connected to the result. That's where the price point comes in, right? Chase Gray University, the enrollment for our program is $10,000. The investment for this program is $10,000, not because I'm worth $10,000. It has nothing to do with my worth. Because here's the thing. First of all, Chase Gray University is a company. So we have other coaches, we have software, we have processes, we have other people in our company that we have to pay, right? There's an overhead that we have to make sure that we meet every month. So it can't be connected to my worth, because by the time I fulfill my company's responsibilities and obligations, then that means I'm only worth a very small percent, right? And so does that mean that I keep hiking up my prices? No. That means you have to sit down and identify that this investment is connected to the result and the output and the transformation that we're able to help our clients get. What are we helping our what how are we helping our clients save time? How are we helping our clients save money? How are we helping our clients through the process? Our price point is connected to the process, not our purpose, right? It's not connected to our purpose. Why? Because I can get up and coach any day, every day. You don't have to pay me nothing, and I'll coach because I love coaching, and I know that this is my assignment. And I know this is what I'm called to do. So if the price was connected to my purpose, then I won't show up because I'm going to always expect profit. But if the profit is connected to the process, processes are in place regardless if people are present, and that's what people are paying for. When you have a solid process, when you have a process that's going to get your client to the results, to the output, the profit is connected to that process, because whether or not I show up or not, you're still going to reach your results, because it's not connected to my purpose. It's connected to the process. Does this make sense? Y'all let me know in the comments if this is making sense to you. Okay, Coach Latrice. All right, I see you. I'm glad. I'm glad. All right, I'm glad you joined us too today, Coach Letitia. Listen, that's it. The investment is connected to the results, not your worth. No, Coach Latrice, there's no way. You are an amazing coach. You're an amazing woman. How dare somebody walk up to you and say you're only worth $5,000? You're only worth $10,000. I beg your pardon. Now, they may say that the service, and this is not for Coach Latrice, because Coach Latrice is a mindset coach, and she helped grieving men and women. I'm sorry, she helps bereaving men and women grieve through their process through writing. And so her product, her service is amazing and is worth every investment. But how would it feel if someone come up to you and say that your program or your service isn't worth this amount, right? And so that's why it can't be connected, because now if you come up to me and tell me that my service isn't worth the amount, now I'm offended, right? Now I'm insulted. Now my feelings hurt because, oh my gosh, I'm not helping people. But that it's not that. It's that now I got to shift how I'm looking at this thing. Okay, if my program is going to be $5,000, if our program is going to be $10,000, these are my deliverables, and this is my area of transformation. Now, I do want the value of that to I do want it to let me see. I do want the value to reflect the financial investment, but that's not going to be connected to my worth, right? So we're talking about 5 reasons why it's extremely dangerous as kingdom coaches to charge your worth. We've talked about the emotional connection, right? We've talked about comparing your worth to the amount of money you receive. What if you don't? What if no one buys your product at your price point? Does that mean you're not worthy? Right? We talked about the difference in the mindset of being worthy or feeling or knowing your worth versus feeling worthless. These are all attacks of the enemy. If you market your service at a price point and no one buys it, it doesn't mean that it's not a good service, and it doesn't mean you're not a good coach. It just means we need to readjust your message. It just means that we need to just reposition it. It may mean that we need to speak to our client differently. Maybe we need to adjust our audience. Like, there's so many other factors, and the moment you start to absorb that emotion and say, well, maybe I'm not worth it, then now the enemy is able to disconnect you from the assignment. You are worth it. That's why God called you to it. That's why you guys are in this community. That's why you are constantly every day trying to figure out, how do I become a better coach? How do I grow my coaching business? How do I reach the people? How do I build a better program? How do I price? Because you know that you've been called to this, but know that the call is connected to the worth, not the amount of money that's being paid for the work. Right? Number 4, charging your worth places the transformation of clients on what you can do versus what they come into the program to do. Now, this one is good. I want to sit here for a minute. Because a lot of times we run into this. Let me get this comment and then I'm going to go in. Because Latrice, exactly. Then I'm asking that person questions like, how long do you desire to stay in the broken state? Absolutely. Absolutely. You so silly. Right? Here's the thing. Here's why this next one is so profound to me. Charging your worth places the transformation of your clients on you. When you charge your worth, remember, when you're charging your worth, you connect it to your work, right? Okay, sorry about that, y'all. When you charge your worth, you're connecting your worth to your work, right? And so now you overwhelm your work because you're trying to justify the price. And because I'm charging my worth, I think that I'm supposed to charge two, five, $8,000, whatever you believe your worth costs. You're now trying to connect it to your work. So now I'm going to overwhelm my work so that I can measure up to my worth. Right? Does this make sense? Now, here's why this is challenging for the client. Because when you charge your worth, the transformation that your work can provide, you then absorb that. So when your client enrolls into your program at $500, $5,000, $50,000, and they don't receive the results that you know they can receive, you then absorb their lack of, and you believe that you aren't worthy of this position as a coach. I'm only saying this to you guys because I've experienced it, right? I've been in that place where and it's so funny. I'm a part of a 28 days of prayer. And so today was just it just stood out to me like a sore thumb. And it talked about how don't get frustrated. Don't get frustrated. Um, don't let the people who you're called to serve frustrate you, right? And that was good for me because I love what I do so much, and I want to see the coaches that I coach and that I work with transform. But what I had to stop doing is connecting my worth with my work, because sometimes depending on what season your client is in, it may take them a little more time to transform. It may take a little bit more time for that fruit to truly manifest. It may take a little bit more time. And so if you connect your worth to your work and it's not working fast enough, then you'll start to feel defeated. Then you'll start to feel like you're not good enough, like you're not a good enough coach. And then you'll start questioning the assignment that God has called you to. This is why you have to separate your worth from your work. Now, do the work, right? But you want to make sure that not only are you doing the work, but you're allowing your client to do the work, because they have a certain level of responsibility in this as well. It's not just all on you, right? And so you want to make sure that as you are building out your price point, that you are aware of the amount of work, the result, the output, not your worth, right? When you think about it, you want to make sure, and I'm reading my notes, it says charging your worth places the transformation of clients on what you can do versus them applying themselves and accepting responsibility to transform for themselves. When you put a price on your worth, it dilutes the transformation because you're so busy working. You've overwhelmed the work. So now the transformation is diluted because you're trying to add all of these deliverables. You're trying to give them everything. But what I've learned is giving them everything, it doesn't solve the problem. You think about it when we have children, right? We're like, I want to give my children everything that they want. I want to give my children everything that they desire, right? And so we think as parents, like, oh, I'm giving my children what I didn't have. That's me. I'm guilty of that. I want to give my children what I didn't have. And so what I found in doing that is giving them everything is not preparing them. It's not making them better. We have to learn how to apply the proper strategies so that they're able to do the work in amount of time that's going to take for them to do the work. When we try to dump everything on them, we're overwhelming their process. So now they're not gaining everything that they need because they're trying to eat steak and they're still on baby food. This is why developing your programs is so important, and learning how to take step 1, step 2, step 3, because when you try to give them steps 1 through 10 all at the same time, it overwhelms them. And then now when they're overwhelmed, the results that that they're supposed to be producing, they're not producing because they're overwhelmed. And so now you start to point at self and say, I'm not worthy, or my program isn't worth it. And it's not that. Is that we need to sit down and really iron out the work. And what does that look like? Right? The dollar amount to your services is tied to the outcome. Know the difference between pricing versus processes, right? Pricing versus processes. Your price point is connected to the process, not the purpose. So when you're pricing, what should your price include? That's what we're going to itemize, and your worth isn't in that. Your purpose isn't in that. When we're talking about processes, we're talking about, what do I need to deliver? How is this going to, how will my client walk through my process so that they can then receive the result or the output that I know that the solution that I provide to the problem that they have. But when you start to absorb the profit and start to connect it to purpose and to your worth, and it doesn't, and the results don't reflect it, then you go into a season of defeat. I'm just trying to help you look at who you are as a coach different. Know that God is giving you the strategy through your experiences to help the clients that you're called to serve, right? He's giving you the strategy, He's giving you the solution. But you got to keep in mind that it is not your responsibility to plant, water, and increase. Right? And so again, that goes back to our worth. When we connect our work to our worth, we want to make sure that we're planting, watering, and increasing so that it validates our worth. But when you disconnect it, when you're saying, listen, I am not here to I'm not charging my worth. I'm putting in the work, and because my work reflects my worth, now I'm showing up differently. Now I'm a little bit more patient with you, and now I'm no longer allowing this process, maybe in with your season of, maybe it's taking you a little bit longer. Now I'm no longer allowing that process of you taking a little bit longer to get to the results. Now I'm not offended. Now I'm not taking it personal. Now I'm not saying, well, maybe I just shouldn't be a coach, or maybe I should quit, or maybe I shouldn't. Like, I'm no longer fighting these thoughts because I understand the difference between my worth and the work, right? So I want to address any questions that you may have for me. We're getting ready to log out. I have a 1 o'clock, so I need to definitely get ready for that. But I wanted to jump on today for Maximize Your Monday, and I wanted to help you change how you're looking at your pricing. We are offering some accelerated courses for you guys here at Chase Great, and I encourage you to find the schedule. Click the link in the caption, go to the schedule. We have different courses. See which course you would like to attend so that we can help you and focus in on solving a specific problem in your coaching business. So whether or not you're new and you're ready to just start, LaToya, what do I need to do to start a business? right? Not start coaching, but start a business. What does that include? Your legal filing, your bank accounts, your EIN. What paperwork do I need to have in place? What systems can I put in place now to start the business? That's our first course on February 28th. So make sure you check that out. We have unlocking your coaching niche, finding your client, teaching you the proper coaching skills for true transformation with your client. We're going to talk about pricing your programs. We have these accelerated courses. We've put these accelerated courses in place for coaches who are looking for some, I don't want to say, I'm going to say immediate teaching. I'm not going to say instant gratification or instant reward, because you still got to do the work. You still got to plant, you still got to water, you still got to do the work, right? Thank you. Thank you, Coach Latresa. Right? So make sure you click the link. Of course, the coaches know who are already enrolled into Chase Gray University. You already have access to these courses. You guys are good. For those of you who are in our Christian Women Called to Coach community, maybe you're watching us by way of Chase Gray University's business page or even on YouTube. You have the opportunity to join us for these courses. So make sure you click the course. These courses are accelerated courses. You will receive a certificate after each completion of the course. And these courses are applied to your Chase Gray University certification. If you ever decided to become niche certified through Chase Gray, then these courses are applied to that as well. So you want to now make the decision and say, you know what, I may not be ready to join Chase Gray University so that I can become Chase Gray certified, but I am ready to do some work in other areas so that I can grow. Right? So that I can grow. So make sure you click the link in the caption, learn more about our accelerated courses we have coming up throughout the month of March, and make sure you claim your seat. Don't wait to the last minute. Don't wait to the last minute. Cool. If you have any questions for me, please do not hesitate to reach out. Comment on the video. Send us an email at LaToya@chasegrayenterprises.com. Visit us on our website. Find out about how we can help you start, grow, and monetize your coaching business in your niche without compromising your kingdom assignment. Have a fantastic Monday, and I'll see you guys later inside of the community. Be blessed.